Hello, this is your absent-minded professor. To get started, we need to go to Oracle's Java page at oracle.com to download the JRE. Now, the JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment. When we get to the page, we need to select Java for Consumers. Chances are the JRE is installed on your computer already, but let's make sure that you have the latest JRE installed on your computer. You want to click to install, agree and install, and it will install the latest version of the Java runtime environment onto your computer. Java is an interpreted language. This means that the program is converted into bytecode and then translated at runtime. We do not compile a binary like we do with, say, C++. While this definitely creates a disadvantage in that it requires more resources to run the program, it does have a fantastic advantage to it, which is that the program is able to run on any platform that has Java installed, such as these 3 billion devices that run Java. You do not have to write special code for each platform. You can only write one set of code and it will install for the others. Now, once you have finished installing this, let's go ahead and verify it and make sure that it is installed correctly on your machine. This is step 1. Step 2 is to go back to the download page and get Java for Developers. You want to get the latest JDK or Java Development Kit. You want to accept the license, and then you'll have a couple of choices here. Depending on your platform of development, you'll either want to get the 64-bit Windows, the 64-bit Linux, or the 64-bit Mac version, such as what I'm using here. The JDK is the Java version of the SDK, the Software Development Kit. A Software Development Kit contains all of the libraries necessary for you to develop an application in the language that Software Development Kit is provided for. In this particular JDK, we are able to develop console-based applications and Swing GUI or graphic user interface based desktop class applications. So you've finished installing 2/3 of the puzzle here. The last piece is the IDE, or Integrated Development Environment. This is a piece of application software that allows you to develop your software. We are using a program called Eclipse. You can get this at eclipse.org, and you can download this for Windows, Linux, or for the Mac. And while I'm developing on a Macintosh right now, the truth is it does not matter what application platform you develop on. Because once again, your target platform is any platform that can run the JRE. Now, Java is an object-oriented programming language. You may already understand some basic principles of object-oriented programming languages, but let me cover some of the basics. Basically, an object in programming is a digital representation, a digital construct of a real-world object. For instance, I could have a piece of code create an object that is a person. That person can have different properties. A property is a variable inside of a class. So what is a class? A class is a blueprint for an object. Now I want to call your attention when you install Eclipse here that you be sure to install the proper version of it. The proper version to install is the Java for Developers. It says Eclipse IDE for Java Developers. Once you select that and install it, it might take a little while to install. just use the default location for the installer. To review from a moment ago, a class is a blueprint for an object, and an object is a digital representation of a real-world object. Inside of the class, you will find different types of code. One is called a variable. A variable represents different properties of your object. For instance, if my object was a person, then I would therefore have some variables like gender, name, age, race, so on and so forth. Hair color. You also have something called a constructor. A constructor is basically a method that creates an instance of your object. In order to have this object created into your program, you must create an instance. An instance is basically a copy of your object. You can have many different instances inside your project, and therefore we must name each object with a unique variable name for that object. Now, once we've opened Eclipse here, let's create our very first program. This right here is the IDE, and this is your environment. Over in this section right here is where the outline of your program is, and down below is the console where you will see content displayed. To the left is where your Project Explorer is, and in the middle there is where we'll write the code. To create a new program, we'll go to File, and then New, and then Java Project. Once you've developed a few programs, you'll learn the shortcuts in this IDE. But one thing you can do is right-click in the Package Explorer, and then you can click on New, and then Java Project as well. When you're ready to create your program, you need to put a name for the actual project itself. My students are required to put their last name, and then an underscore, and then their first name, and then an underscore, and then the designation of their class, which is SD 1420, which is the Introduction to Networking class at ITT Technical Institute. Underscore, and then what lab they're working on. Be sure and use the JRE that's indicated in the bottom of that option there. Create separate folders, and then click Finish to create your Java project. Inside of the Java project is a source folder. You're going to right-click on your project and go to New Class, because every program needs a class. And in this case, every Java program needs a main class, which is the starting point of your program. You need to name the class. We're going to name it Lab 1, and we're going to name our program Lab 1 as well. A package name, by the way, is just a collection of classes that pertain to a portion of your program. And by the way, it has to be started with a lowercase letter for the package and an uppercase letter for the class. Use the void main and generate comments. And then let's create our program. By default, it's going to give you a comment for authors, and I request that students put their full name, and also it is a good idea to set the date of your project, but you don't have to. So I'll enter my name here, and I'm going to show you a little bit ahead of schedule. I'm going to create a method. A method is a collection of statements. and a statement is a single line of code that performs an operation. In this case, the method that I'm going to create is going to be called display name. The entire program here is just going to display the name in the console. So to begin with, my method is going to be public. That means that my method is accessible anywhere in the program, and it's static. Static means I do not have to create an object in order to use this method. Void means that it doesn't return any data, and we'll talk more about that in later tutorial modules. I'm using camel case for a naming convention. And I'm going to receive an argument that is a string called name. System.out.println name is the command, the single statement that will display somebody's name on the screen. Once again, the variable in this method is name, and it is of a data type string. In order to run this, I need to know what name is going to be. So I'm going to create a string called my name equals to Joel Bryant in quotations. Notice how I'm ending my code with semicolons. In order to run the program, in order to run the method, I'm going to have to call the method, and I'm sending it the parameter of my name. Save the program and then run, and you'll notice down in the console below that it actually displays my name. So there you have it. We have created our first program. Notice how in the right-hand side, display name has shown up in our outline. Whenever you're done and have saved, close the project, and then you can quit the program. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I am the absent-minded professor, Professor Joel Bryant. I apologize if you've watched this entire video and felt like it was a little basic for you. This particular video was really geared towards my students in the SD 1420 Introduction to Java class. Moving forward with all videos beyond this one, we're going to tackle new concepts every video, from creating methods to creating objects to if-then statements and case statements, and basically every concept that we can cover. And this will then lead into a new series that I'm going to do after this, the Android development series. So please stay tuned. I hope you liked this. Please press the like button down below. This is Professor Bryant saying I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.